This week, we talk about Microsoft's big announcement, a possible Nintendo delay, and more. So let's just go ahead, together, as a people, and check it out! And welcome to another sensational Sunday. I'm Mike, and I'm back to talk about the gaming news. And last week, we finished off the news by talking about the rumors that Microsoft was bringing some of their Xbox exclusives to the Switch and PS5. In fact, it caused such a frenzy that Phil Spencer had to get on Twitter and be like, hey, chill. We're going to have an update next week. And that update came on Thursday, February 15th on the official Xbox podcast. Yes, they made people wait almost the whole entire week to get this news. Well, I, of course, tuned in to see what the Xbox team had to say, and the podcast is only like 22 minutes long. I linked it below in the reference section if you want to check it out for yourself. But basically, they did confirm that 4 games are coming to Switch and PS5. They haven't officially named which games are coming to the PS5 and Switch yet, but after the podcast, rumors started coming out about which games it would be. So according to the Verge article, Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment are going to be first, followed by Sea of Thieves and Grounded. As of now, Microsoft still hasn't officially confirmed the games, but these seem like a good place for them to dip their toes in on this new strategy. The other stuff they talked about was basically like the Xbox is still the core experience and that's not going away. They also claim that the next generation Xbox will be the biggest technical leap in gaming. Now, obviously, they said this to reassure people that they're not going to stop making Xboxes. And basically, like I mentioned last week, the team said that they're releasing these games on other platforms as part of their current strategy, and they're not planning on bringing Game Pass to any other systems either. They claim that the Xbox is still the ideal experience for Game Pass and Xbox games. So yeah, I think it was intended to be a minor announcement and then at least blew it out of proportion. So for now, there's nothing to worry about as far as Microsoft not making consoles anymore. And plus, Sony has done similar things with some of their games. They started doing delayed releases for their games on PC. In fact, they may be considering releasing games on PC at an even faster rate. So Sony's president Hiroki Totoki said during an earnings call that basically he wanted them to be more aggressive with multi-platform releases, meaning PC, because they're obviously not releasing on Xbox and Switch. Now, the reason for this is, well, it's money. It's the same reason we talked about in the story before that Microsoft is dipping their toes in the multi-platform releases. They were already doing Xbox and PC day and date for almost all their first-party games, so this is the next logical step. Sony so far have been releasing their games on PC usually about a year or so after they come out, and obviously they're still seeing a sales boost from this, and these games are expensive to make, and right now the PS5 is selling well, but it's not at the numbers that PS4 is as far as their install base, because it's the mid-generation for the console. So releasing a game sooner on PC will probably help them make up the software costs and reach more users and not really hurt the console business at all. So if Sony does go with this strategy, we'll probably start seeing shorter exclusivity windows for PS5 games before they come to PC. And while we're on the topic of PC, Diablo 4 is a pretty popular PC game to the dismay of Whoopi Goldberg. And of course, Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard now, so naturally we expect to see these games start coming to Game Pass. So as part of Microsoft's announcement around it releasing the 4 games multi-platform, they also announced that Diablo 4 will be coming to Game Pass on March 28th. Now, personally, as an Xbox owner and a Game Pass subscriber, I've been waiting to see what we're going to get when it comes to these Activision games on Game Pass. So yeah, it looks like Diablo 4 will be the first, and of course there's no word on when we'll see games like Call of Duty on Game Pass, but they may need to hurry up and get the ball rolling on that, because it's also being reported that Game Pass growth has slowed. So according to the Engadget article, Game Pass was previously growing more rapidly, at times even 90% growth year over year. So Game Pass launched in 2017, and they reached 10 million subscribers in 2020. In 2021, they hit 18 million. In 2022, they hit 25 million. So they were seeing that growth rate of 90% that we talked about earlier. And now with the new numbers being reported, it looks like they're at 35 million, and they've only seen 10 million new subscribers in 2 years. And on top of that, these numbers include Game Pass Core, which basically used to be Xbox Live Gold, so that wasn't even factored into the previous numbers. So a good part of that 10 million could just be Gold subscribers that had to change their subscription to Game Pass after Microsoft got rid of that option. So me personally, looking at these numbers in the time period, this makes sense. They had huge growth spikes during the pandemic, as most of gaming did, and a lot of people had more time and were stuck at home, and that's why the PS5 and Xbox were almost impossible to get during that period. The other part of it is Microsoft hasn't had any super strong exclusives. The biggest game that they had was Starfield last year, and that seemed like it was okay, but it wasn't a blockbuster like you would expect from Bethesda's next big new IP. There was also Redfall, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. So I think some of that slowdown is to be expected, but maybe with them getting some of those Activision games on Game Pass, we'll see some more growth. Just like Epic is looking for growth in their gaming business by creating their own app store on mobile devices. So recently we talked about the case between Epic and Google and the conclusion of the multi-year battle with Epic and Apple. And this essentially started because they didn't want to pay the developer fees for Fortnite to be on each of their app stores. Well, in the EU, they recently ruled that Apple would have to allow third-party apps on the iPhone outside of their official app store. And Epic is looking to take advantage of this, as they have announced that they're working on their own iPhone app store in the EU. Now, this is only going to affect people in the EU, as Apple is not required to make these changes in other countries as of now. But this is basically what Epic wanted from the lawsuit they had with Apple in the US, to be allowed to create their own app store on the iPhone. So people in the EU may be getting an official way to play Fortnite on iPhone, while the rest of us just have to stream it, basically. They haven't given an exact date of when this store will be available, but they did say it will be sometime this year. But you know what may not be coming this year? Nintendo's next system. And that's what we're talking about today in our final story. So we've had a lot of Switch 2 rumors lately, but one thing that they've all had in common is they were pointing at a release date sometime this year. Well, now we got new rumors that the Switch may be getting another holiday season to itself after all. So new rumors have come out from a journalist, Pedro Henrique Ludi Libe, I'm sorry if I messed that up, and also Eurogamer, that Nintendo may be pushing their next system to early 2025. Pedro claims to have received confirmation from at least 5 sources to confirm this information. According to the Kotaku article, this information is coming from third-party companies, so probably accessory makers and game developers. They're claiming that they were informed of this delay by Nintendo. Now, the funny thing is, last week we talked about how the Switch's sales were higher than they forecasted, and it's on track to become the best-selling console of all time. So if these rumors are true, I'm wondering if this delay is due to a technical or manufacturing issue, or Nintendo realizes that the Switch has more life left in it than they initially thought. I mean, Nintendo has to be winding down the Switch. They stopped making Mario Kart 8 DLC last year. They've been keeping that game on life support since it came out on the Wii U back in 2014. You know, if they stop the DLC for that, they ain't planning to keep the Switch around for too much longer. Just like I'm not planning on keeping this video going for much longer, so I'm bringing it to a close. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think the Switch will hang on, and I mean hang on for dear life, for the rest of 2024? Again, let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure, tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification button thing to be notified when I drop a video or a live stream. And always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace.